Welcome to part 2 of creating rich pictures with Insight Maker. We left off in the part 1 having developed this rich picture of an interest-bearing savings account in a bank. I wanted to go ahead and cover some additional things that you can do in a rich picture. While these links that are used to connect between the different elements, while they are in fact called, the default name of them is simply link, you can change the name of that connector and call it, in this one, added to, and simply say this is added to the account. So what happens is that I end up with a label associated with this particular link, and you can use these labels to help communicate what you implied by these connections. And if you select this label, you notice that there's a little dot in the center of it. If you click that, you can in fact move this label around. The software sort of figures out where to place them based upon what the link itself looks like. So, and then when you have, as you have added comments to the various components, in the future you or anyone you choose to share this with can simply click on the eye and it will show them what the comment associated with the item is, or they can click here to close it. And once you have developed a model, you can go ahead and share it on Facebook, tweet it on LinkedIn, or you can simply go ahead and directly mail the link to someone else so that they can come here and take a look at the model that you have developed. When they get here, they won't see all of these tools because the model belongs to you. You created it. What they'll see is a model that simply has a run simulation and a scratch pad and time settings, none of which are relevant to a rich picture, but the software doesn't really know that it's a rich picture. So when someone gets here, they can look at the model. They can't change it, but they can look at all of the pieces, look at all of the things and the way that they're defined. And if they want to then take the rich picture that you have developed, they can simply click on Duplicate Insight, and it will create a clone of that insight, which then or that model, which then belongs to them, and they can change it in any way that they choose. So they can go ahead and evolve this model and then send you a link to say, here's what I did with it. What do you think? If they don't want to change it, just give you comments on it, they can click on Insight Discussion, and they can go here and they can add a comment to this model, which will then be posted to the person that created it, to you. And because you created it, you're subscribed to it, they end up being subscribed to it, so that if you answer, it sets up a two-way exchange, and multiple people can actually comment and exchange on the content of models through the social networking framework that's built into Insight Maker. Additionally, something else that you might choose to do with it is that as you develop pieces, you can put them in folders. So if I take this and I select all of this and tell it to put it in a folder, I now have a folder around this, and I can label this folder savings relationships. The interactions for periodic interest on an account. When you're doing this for yourself, you can take all the time you want. I end up rushing because I don't want there to be a lot of dead space in the video so that you're bored to death. Once you put things in a folder, if you move the folder, everything in the folder moves with it. If you click the little button, the folder closes, but you still have the label for it, so you can move it around. You can open it back up. You can also attach, the way that we attached images to the various picture elements in this model, we could go ahead and say savings, S-A-V, savings, I-N-G-S, savings account. See what kind of images we have here. And here's one. Let's go ahead and take this. We'll open in a new tab. We'll copy this image, and then we'll go back here and we'll put this image on the folder, and we'll leave the label at the top. So now when I close this folder, I have the savings relationship displayed, and if I click this, it opens it and shows me what's inside of it. You can actually nest folders within folders. The one thing that I warn you about, though, is that when you once you put something into a folder, you need to be real careful, because if you delete the folder, everything in it is also deleted. If you want to get the things out of a folder, you have to make sure that you move them in such a way that they're no longer in the folder, which is sometimes a bit tricky. So if I select all this stuff, I have not selected the folder, I've just selected the items that were in it. And if I drag them out of the folder, and I go then go back and tell it that I want, why can't I close the folder? Oh, I can't close it, there was nothing in it. So I have to make sure that I can't close it, so I know that there's nothing in it, and therefore now I have all of the things out of the folder and I can move them back around. But the deleting the folder, if I put it in the folder and I happen to delete it, it's not undoable. Wait a minute. Yeah, it is undoable. Sorry. So the good thing is that it is undoable. So you can, if you catch yourself, you can get back to where you were. So that's, you know, the ability to sort of abstract concepts and abstract them and put one inside of another. Let me go ahead and close these and show you a couple of examples of other models that are rich pictures that have been developed by other people. I found these inside of Insight Maker. This is one that has to do with patient flows in a hospital. A number of pictures, a number of folders, and folders inside of folders. I mean, this is quite intricate, but it should give you a sense of what's doable. One about biology levels. Part of the difficulty at the moment is the size of the screen that I'm actually creating this on for you. These particular rich pictures were developed on a larger screen, and this actually happens to be another layer of detail. Let me zoom back out to actual size and look at this. There's additional things inside of there probably should have a background color associated with this. If I go back here, you can select this, and all of these style elements are available so that you can select this and tell it that you want it to have a colored background, or that you want to bold the text, and you can use those style controls with all of the elements in terms of the text and things. Here's another one that has to do with some reference architecture that someone is working on. These are not my rich pictures. I didn't develop them, and I haven't spent any time trying to figure out what specifically they're intending to portray. But what you notice here is all of these links have labels on them to explain to someone what this connection is meant to mean, and they have comments in here about what the items are, so that someone else who gets a hold of this, if you send it to someone else, they at least have a chance of understanding what you were thinking when you developed it. Here's a clinical decision support cycles. Has to do with knowledge generation and validation, and there are pieces inside of here. There are pieces in this one. So it's rich pictures on top of folders, and the relationships inside of the folders are in fact simply done with variables and links. And then the last one was something about system methods for interventions, also to do with a medical environment. Now, when I post these on the website, all of the models that are used here for examples, there will be links provided to those. So I hope this helps. Thank you for sticking with me, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye.